Okay, so today we're going to talk about the continuation of our discussion about the global interstate system. So, economic and political integration, European integration. So, the main focus of our discussion is, of course, the um, union of European um, countries, all right, in terms of economic and in terms of politics. In terms of economy and in terms of politics. So, economic and political integration, European integration. So, dito, ating munang babasahin, European integration is the process of industrial, political, legal, economic, social, and cultural integrations of states wholly or partially in Europe. So, doon pa lang sa tagpong yon, nakalagay is wholly or kabuuan, or partially in Europe. Sa partially na ating binabanggit diyan, pinatutungkulan yung European Union. European integration has primarily come about through the European Union and its policies. So dito sa baba, ating binabanggit na yung ating main focus which is umiikot sa European Union or sa Europe. Okay? Paano siya masasabing integrated in terms of economy and politics. So, European Union is an international organization comprising 28 European countries and governing common economic, social, and security policies. In the early 21st century, EU expanded into Central and Eastern Europe with the following members. Pero hindi ko nabasahin kasi medyo madami yan. Sa 28 European countries ang kabilang sa European Union. The thing is, sa updated na talaan ng European Union, sinasabing nasa 27 na lang yung European countries na member states. Because yung United Kingdom withdraw from EU on January 31, 2020. So tumiwalag yung United Kingdom. Kaya nga siya ay 27 na. Now, itong European Union, dagdagan ko lang ng konting detalye, no? So, ang isa sa focus nito is to promote peace and security and respecting fundamental rights and freedoms. Peace and security and respecting fundamental rights and freedoms. So, yun yung parang isa sa layunin or sabihin na nating role ng European Union sa kanyang member states, okay, na magkaka-member. Meaning to say, kailangan magkaroon or ma-maintain yung peace and order, na hindi dapat mag-away-away yung mga membro ng European Union. Okay, isa lang 'yan, So meron pang mga ibang reason, katulad ng halimbawa yung sa ekonomiya, economic integration. At yun na ngayon yung ating mas bibigyan ng emphasis sa discussion natin. Economic integration can be described as a process and a means by which a group of countries strives to increase their level of welfare. It is an arrangement between different regions that often includes the reduction or elimination of trade barriers. Kumbaga, lagi namang umiikot yung ating discussion sa contemporary world sa usaping economy, So, sa dimension ng economy. So, in here, 'di ba, pagka sinabi nating integration, merong union. Merong parang unifying element, Okay? Ibig sabihin, nakikisabay yung isa dun sa isa, Parang ganun. In that way, may unity, unified, Parang ganun. So, economic integration includes the reduction or elimination of trade barriers. Meaning to say, pagkaka-member mo, so maaring i-eliminate or bawasan, reduction, ano, yung pagte-trade, okay, or yung pinapataw na tariffs sa mga member countries. Parang ganun yon. Okay na tayo sa word na economic integration. So dito naman medyo may pagkakomplikado, ano, something technical, ano, itong seven stages of economic integration. The reason for that is merong mga terms dito na parang halos same lang, ano, yung pagkaka-meaning niyan. Mamaya, madadaanan natin yung ibig ko sabihin, ano? Alright? So, sige, una muna, we have preferential trading area. So, ano ba yung tinutukoy natin kapag sinabi natin preferential trading area sa economic integration na stages? So, din nakalagay sa ating PowerPoint. So, preferential trade areas exist when countries within a geographical region agree to reduce or eliminate tariff barriers on selected goods imported from other members of the area. Teka lang ha, ito lang, medyo singitan lang natin ng konting reminder. Itong i-discuss ko na stages of economic integration, so kumbaga sa ating previous na examination, the preliminary ano, we have the situational question about types of justice and the metaphors of globalization, maging yung mga absolute advantage, comparative, mga ganon. So, kumbaga, kung ikukumpara ko lang dito ha, sa stages of economic integration, medyo mas komplikado, ano, okay, yung situational question dito sa part na ito. Ang point ko lang na gustong sabihin is that kailangan attentive nating maunawaan, ano, makinig tayo sa discussion about dito, no, kasi crucial So, magmi-midterm na, so, tapos may situational question about this, ano, yung economic stages, ano, of, yun nga, economic integration, stages of economic integration. Alright, so, balik tayo, no? So, din may nakalagay na preferential trade areas. So, ang focus dito, selected goods imported from other members. So, ganito na lang ang tandaan nyo ha, para mas madali. Selected goods imported from other members. Okay? So, tapos, ganun lang, di ba? Parang yun lang yung medyo binibigyan ng pinaka-emphasis sa idea ng preferential trade areas. What does it mean? Halimbawa, ano, European Union. So, 'di ba, member state ano, yung Germany, yung Italy. Halimbawa lang 'to ano, for the sake of illustration. So, yung Germany ay nagkaroon ng bilateral trade agreement. Okay? Sa let's say for example, Italy. So, yung Germany nagkaroon ng bilateral sa Italy. Now, the thing is, yung Germany ay pinapalagay na, ito, selected goods na, let's say, whiskey or alcoholic beverages na tatanggalan to ng tariffs. Ano? Ibig sabihin, sa kanilang usapan, halimbawa, ng country ng sangay ng gobyerno na ekonomiya ng Germany patungo sa Italy, so pumayag. Ibig sabihin, pwede silang magpalitan ano, ng ganong produkto o selected goods na walang nakalaan or nakalapat na taxes or tariffs totally. Parang ganun kasi ang idea nun So, kaya selected goods imported from other members. That's the thing, ano? Kaya nakalagay dito sa ibaba, this is often the first small step towards the creation of a trading bloc. Agreements may be made between two countries, just like what we mentioned a while ago, bilateral trade agreements, or several countries multilateral. Alright? So, ayun. Now, okay na yun, no? Sa usaping preferential trade area sa ating discussion na yan. So, dito naman tayo dadako, ano? So, dire-diretsuhin ko lang ha yung flow ng aking discussion para hindi tayo ma-interrupt, ano? So, free trade areas are created when two or more countries in a region agree to reduce or eliminate barriers to trade on all goods coming from other members. So dito naman, ang binabanggit or binibigyan ng emphasis to reduce or eliminate barriers to trade on all goods. All yun ha, all goods coming from other members. Alright. Ngayon, ang pinaka-example ng free trade areas, yung tinatawag nating NAFTA, is an example of such a free trade or North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement. Nakapaloob dito yung USA, Canada, and Mexico. Ibig sabihin, para bang pinapalagay pala ba dyan yung sa free trade areas na kapag ba nagte-trade yung Mexico, Canada, or vice versa, USA to Canada, vice versa, ano, mga ganon. So, pinapalagay ba dyan na yung ini-import, okay, na goods, ano, coming from that country na kanilang sabihin natin ka-alliance, ano, sa NAFTA, ay totally na mare, no, na eliminated na o reduce yung trade barriers on all goods. Okay? Doon sa area lang na yon. Kaya nga free trade areas. So free, ano? Ibig sabihin free market, ano? So walang intervention ng government when it comes sa taxes or tariffs na papasok sa kanilang bansa yung ganong produkto. Alright. So, ako na tayo dito sa preferential trade areas and free trade areas. Now, let's proceed to custom unions. Ngayon, diretsuhin ko na kagad, ano? So, sa customs union, first thing comes in mind, yung idea ng customs, di ba? Para bang pagpapalagay na ito yung ayon siya ng gobyerno na, let's say, Bureau of Customs, ano? Sila nga yung nagpapataw ng mga tariffs, ano? Na galing sa ibang bansa na produkto, goods, or items, kung ano man yan, ano? Then, papasok sa ating bansa. Bago yan pumasok, syempre, papatawan niya ng mga tariffs. That's the point or idea ng customs. The thing is, ang binabanggit dito, a customs union involves the removal of tariff barriers between members. Ibang usap to, ano? So, from the word itself, union, merong integration na nagaganap, ano, in terms of customs, ano? Okay? Together with the acceptance of a common unified external tariff against non-members. What does it mean? Bigyan natin ng concrete example itong customs union. Sige, medyo bagalan ko pala. Baka mabilis pala ang aking salita. So, ang pinaka-idea lang sa custom unions is ito, a common, unified, external tariff. Or kahit ito na lang, common external tariff. Then yun, tapos. Ganun na lang yung parang keyword ng customs union. Halimbawa, ano, if a car manufacturer in Japan exports a vehicle to the European Union, it faces the exact same tariff rate whether the car enters through a port in Germany, France, or Italy. What does it mean? Kumbaga, coming from non-member state or non-member states which is Japan, nag-export yung Japan sa EU ng vehicle. Since yun nga may part sa Japan na manufacturer ng car, no? Now, the thing is, it faces the exact same tariff rate whether the car enters through a port in Germany, France, or Italy. Meaning to say, itong European Union, ano, diba, headquarters ng European Union, tapos doon na ipadala yung, or doon na export, ano, okay, yung mga car, ano, na galing sa car manufacturer sa Japan, ano. So ngayon, pagka sabihin na nating dumaan or sabihin na nating inimport or sa ano yan, sa napadala sa ibang bahagi ng European Union, so kumbaga pare-parehas yung tariffs or taxes, ano? Parang ganun. Or na-reduce na siya, ano? So, that's the idea of customs union. Kaya nakalagay dito, common external tariff against non-members. I hope na nagigets yung point natin, ano? So, yun lang ang ibig sabihin ng custom union. Okay? So, ayun. So, a single payment or duty is made by countries exporting to customs union. Goods inside goods inside the union can move freely with no additional tariffs. Members share tariff revenues while a small share is retained by the country that collects the duty, removing internal barriers to trade and requiring participating nations to harmonize their external policy, as well as building a free trade area are put up by customs union. All right, so I think let's proceed to the next. So dito naman tayo sa tinatawag nating common market. So what does it mean by common market? So nakalagay dito, common market is the most significant step towards full economic integration in the case of Europe. The single market is officially referred to the internal market. Ano? So sa common market, kung ating ililiteral yung pagkaka-meaning niyan, ano, para bang mahinuhan natin common market. Ibig sabihin, yan ba ay parang pare-parehas yung presyo sa market A at sa market B or sa country A or sa country B. Maaari, ano? Pwede nating i-apply yung ganoong concept, ano? Sa common market. Kaya nakalagay dito, the single market is officially referred to the internal market. Ang example nga nito is ano, yung katulad ng ating nabanggit, okay, about dun sa market integration na single European market na facilitated by European Union. Itong single European market to create a standardized systems of laws applicable to all member states, which is yung EU, ensuring free movement of people, goods, services, and capital across borders. Okay? Mare, na pwede nating masabi na wala ng fee or tariff or taxes ano, kapag ka-member ka ng EU. Alright? So in that way, pwede natin may connecta yung common market. Ano? Let's say yung presyo ng whiskey, okay, sa let's say Bulgaria ay the same or hindi nagkakalayo sa presyo ng whiskey sa Germany. That's the point, ano, kapag ka sinabi natin common market. So now, nakalagay dito sa ibaba, the key feature of a common market is the extension of free trade from just tangible goods to include all economic resources. This means that all barriers are eliminated to allow the free movement of goods, services, capital, and labor. Okay na tayo siguro ano sa usaping common market. I think let's proceed to the next. O nakadami na tayo, no? Preferential, ang keyword ay selected goods imported from other members. Free trade area, ang keywords ay NAFTA, North Atlantic Free Trade Agreement. Custom unions, ang keyword ay common external tariffs. Ang common market, ang keywords or highlight ay internal market. Alright? So, ganun lang yan para mas maunawaan natin ng mabilis. So, ngayon, nakalagay pa pala dito sa baba, no? In addition, as well as removing tariffs, non-tariffs barriers are also reduced and eliminated. So now, ito na yung sinasabi kong medyo komplikado. Okay, medyo nakakalito. Kasi, economic union is a term applied to a trading bloc that has both a common market, given na yan, common market between members and a common trade policy toward non-members. Although members are free to pursue independent macroeconomic policies, the same thing or the same idea sa Economic and Monetary Union or EMU. Nakalagay dito, key stage toward a complete integration, but the thing is, involves a single economic market which is connected sa idea ng common market and common trade policy. Nakalagay din dito sa Economic Union, common trade policy, a single currency, nakalagay din dito yan, common currency, and a common monetary policy, a unified monetary policy. Kumbaga, nakakalito, ano? Ano ba talaga? Parehas ba lang talaga yung economic union and economic and monetary union or hindi? Technically speaking, masasabi natin parehas. Pero siguro, i-distinguish na lang natin ng konti, ano? So, pagpalagay na i-disregard natin itong part na ganito, ano? In economic union, the use of common currency and a unified policy is considered. Okay? Kasi nga, ang focus sa economic and monetary union, yung common currency or yung single currency or common monetary policy, ano, na ating binabanggit. So, ngayon, dagdagan ko lang, ano, sa usapin natin na economic union based sa ating kabilang notes, ano. So, sinasabi ng yung European Union, syempre yun daw yung example ng economic union. Okay, yung European Union, which uses a common currency euro, featuring single market, control trade policies, and the euro for many member. Okay? So, doon pa lang maririnig nyo, euro for many member. What does it mean? Kumbaga, yung currency na euro, hindi pala siya applicable sa lahat ng country or member state ng European Union. Kaya, may tinatawag tayo na Eurozone. Pwede nyo i-take down notes yun. Eurozone. Ibig sabihin, pagka Eurozone, gumagamit ng currency na euro. Alright? Pero, the thing is, hindi lahat ng European Union na member state ay gumagamit ng currency na euro. Therefore, not part of Eurozone member. Ito yung mga country, ano, na pwede nating masabi na hindi part ng Eurozone. We have, pwede nyo i-take down notes kung gusto nyo, no? Czech Republic, Denmark, Poland, Romania, Sweden, Hungary, and Bulgaria. Or siguro, kung gusto nyo lang, i-research nyo lang sa Google, ano, ano yung hindi part ng Eurozone member. Ibig sabihin, itong mga nabanggit natin, part siya ng European Union, let's say Poland, Romania, mga ganun, etc. The thing is, meron silang kanilang sariling currency. Let's say sa Poland, merong tinatawag na Poland dollar yata yung parang ganun. Or basta, um, parang katunog ng ganun, ano? Or Poland something na katawagan ng kanilang currency. Ano? So, these nations maintain their own national currency to control monetary policy. Meaning to say, hindi natin or technically na masasabi natin na hindi sila kabilang dito sa economic and monetary union. Okay? Kumbaga, partial lang siya. Or sabihin na natin hindi nga kabilang pala. No? Kasi nga, sa case ng monetary union or single currency, ay hindi naman sila nakikilahok sa idea na euro yung currency nila. Okay? Bagaman sila ay European Union na member state. Alright? So, yun. Therefore, economic and monetary union, partial lang ano sa part ng European Union. Alright? Yun. Alright. So, now, I think let's proceed to the next. So dito nakalagay, complete economic integration is the final stage of economic integration in which member states completely forego independence of both monetary and fiscal policies. So, complete economic integration involves a single economic market, a common trade policy, a single currency, a common monetary policy, together with a single fiscal policy, including common tax and benefit rates, or the complete harmonization of all policies based in economic trade rules. What does it mean? Kumbaga sa sa tao, sa sayaw, ano, si Totoy Bibo, pinagsama-sama na, no? Okay, joke lang. Ang point natin sa complete economic integration, meron diyang nakapaloob na common market, a single currency, a common monetary policy, okay? together with a single fiscal policy, etc. Kagaya ng ating mga naunang nabanggit sa seven stages, di ba? Or dun sa previous stages of economic integration, kumbaga nagsama-sama dito sa complete economic integration. Okay, that's the thing, And sinasabi rin kasi na yung European Union ay part or sabihin natin example ng complete economic integration. Alright? So, yung kasi yung parang binibigyan ng mas emphasis dyan sa discussion ng part 2 ng the global interstate system na tinutukoy natin na economic integration. Alright, now, I think let's proceed to the next. So, dito nakalagay, political integration is mainly based on welfare increasing effects of integrated policy making. According to the economics of European integration, it brings economic benefits by leading the recovery of effectiveness in policy making. What does it mean? Kumbaga, kanina more on economy. Ngayon, bakit sumausaw si politics? Bakit nagkaroon ng political integration? Okay? Or political union? That's the question. Now, ang sinasabi, given na nga na itong European Union, yung kanyang member state shares a single currency, mostly di man lahat, no? Common trade policy. But the thing is, a parliament and a court system din ay kinoconsider, okay, sa European Union. Meaning, yung the way na paggawa ng batas, yung proseso, which is yung parliament na sinasabi, So, same yung sistema nun, and also yung court system, yung, uh, let's say, kapag ka naglilitis, sa korte, mga ganon, etc., sa bansang ganon, ng Europe. So, ibig sabihin, para bang pare-parehas yung, sabihin natin, political system, okay, ng member state ng European Union. Diba? Sa Germany, parehas yung court system sa, let's say, Estonia, or Bulgaria, kung anumang country yan, naka-member niya. Yun pala ang sinasabi nating political integration. Hindi lang siya economic integrated, but also politically integrated. Kaya nga sa ating discussion, nakalagay doon na economic and political integration, then European integration. So, ganun. So, talagang ang bida ay European, yung ating binibigyan ng pinaka-example. Alright. So, ayun lang. Actually, yung ating discussion, medyo binilasan ko lang, para medyo sumabay sa flow ng ating sinasabi. So, dito, ito na yung summary, Levels of economic integration. So, una, free trade. Pero ang pinakauna nating nabanggit is yung preferential trade, Parang ganun. Areas. So, sa free trade, nakalagay dyan, reduction of tariffs between members like yung NAFTA, di ba? North Atlantic, mga ganon, yung ating sinasabi kanina. Alright? So, ASEAN, partial the custom union, common external tariffs, then common market, free movement of capital services, different national regulation yon, economic union, no barriers for internal trade, free movement of labor, harmonized tax rates, common monetary and fiscal policy. Sabi nga natin, partial lang yung EU, sa economic union and monetary, ganon. Kasi, given na nga na hindi lahat ay gumagamit ng currency ng euro in that way, dun pa lang, bagsak na sa monetary union, or single currency, na policy. So, a political union, common government, yan, European union pa rin yung parang example na. And then, kung titingnan natin pataas, so, mas makikita natin, yung parang mas integrated, alright, hanggang sa political union. Bagaman din naman natin ito nabanggit, yung mga independent economy, pero, yan, kung titingnan natin sa ibang reference ko dito, increasing integration pataas yan. So, ayun lang actually yung ating discussion about sa the global interstate system. Natapos na natin yung dalawang part.